Hey guys, it's Mark and Jason from Arnzen Arms. We're here today to talk about hunting rifles, specifically
Midwest Minnesota whitetail rifles.
Awesome. Everybody at Arnzen's got a pretty solid background in hunting, or at least a good knowledge of the firearms involved. But Jason is truly our sort of expert in that realm. And one thing we do here is we try to pass people to the right person. And Jason is, if it gets beyond the basics, I call him. So we're going to talk a little bit about hunting rifles today, so I'll let you kind of take it. What are we looking for in a good deer rifle?
Well, Minnesota hunting, and in my family, it's kind of a tradition thing. You know, there was three crucial components.
Right.
First being chili, second one, Spam sandwiches, and third, 30 caliber bullets.
Right. Yeah.
So one thing that has changed though is the 30 caliber bullet. For a long time, starting your kids out on a 30-30, moving them up to a 30-06 when they get a little bit older has kind of been Minnesota's heritage. Okay. I think there's other options out there caliber wise.
Yep.
270 probably being one of the more known calibers.
Right.
And what I like about the 270, longer range, it's a very versatile caliber.
Right.
Same felt recoil is about a 30-06, but if you ever do want to go out west, do an antelope hunt, elk hunt, something like that, your long range capabilities is a little bit better with a 270.
Okay.
Some of the features that I really look for in a rifle, especially a bolt action rifle, first of all, I like a detachable box magazine. The reason I like that is Minnesota is cold. At the end of the day, you want to clear your rifle, put it in your truck.
Yeah.
It's quick.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You don't have to, shells don't fall in the snow.
That makes sense.
And the reason I like to keep my rifle in my truck, in a case, is instead of bringing it into my hunting shack, is the temperature change. You have a rifle sitting in a 60, 70 degree shed. You go out the next morning, your glass is toast.
Right.
Yep. So for me, being able to quickly empty my rifle, lock it up in my truck is one important feature to me.
Makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Another feature that I find important, especially on a Tikka, the trigger is fantastic.
Okay.
There's a lot of rifles with great triggers out there, but in the price range, kind of in the mid-range, the Browning X-Bolt, the Tikka, all out of the box have great triggers in them.
Right on that X-Bolt.
Yep. And that one's in 708, which is another caliber I love for a whitetail caliber. It's kind of overlooked. Not many people think of 708 as really their first choice, but starting a youth shooter out, kind of a rifle for life, being able to go from small game to big game. Yep. 708 is just a fantastic platform to start somebody out on.
Awesome. So if I walk into the shop and gun shop guy John says, "Here's two guns I recommend," how are you going to look at these and compare them? What are the things, the features? I mean, we talked about some of the things you want to see. This one has the box mag and all that. This one has a good trigger, presumably. But how would you go through evaluating that when you came into the shop?
Yeah, so one thing I look for, especially with the customers, are they looking for a synthetic, all stainless gun right out of the gate?
Yep.
There's a big misconception on stainless guns and actually not having to maintain them.
Okay.
The thing with stainless is it's how quickly you have to maintain it versus a blued wood gun. You still have to clean them just the same, you still have to maintain them just the same. It's just if you're going on an out west hunt and you aren't going to be able to clean your rifle for a week or two, stainless is definitely a good candidate to go with.
Okay.
However, if you're just going to finish hunting the guns wet, and that gun's wet, and you're going to put them in the safe, they're both going to have the same issues down the road if you don't maintain them. Okay. So it's just how quickly you need to maintain the rifle.
Right.
The wood guns tend to have this heirloom, nostalgic quality to them. I just bought a Tikka, a wood one myself for when my kids get older, so that I can have a wood gun to pass on down to my kids. Sure. There's a certain level of satisfaction as a parent, passing on a wood rifle to your kid.
Right.
However, the lightweight that you get with some of the synthetic guns is nice. However, we're talking ounces. Yeah. A lot of people, I want a lightweight deer rifle.
Sure.
There's a big misconception about the weight difference between a wood gun and a synthetic gun.
Right. So we come in though, we're down to like a couple of guns and we're trying to figure out which one's the right one. So fit, not maybe as important as in shotguns, but certainly important. And then what can you expect in the sort of under the sub $1,000 range from the quality of the bolt and all that lockup and everything? Yeah.
So with both of these rifles, both great lockup. One thing that's kind of exclusive to Browning is the short bolt throw, which is really nice. If it's really cold out and you have an optic on your gun and you got thick gloves on, you can rack that bolt without actually having to run into a scope issue.
Sure.
The Tikka also has a low bolt throw. You go with some of the classics. The 700 has a little bit higher bolt throw. So if that's an important feature to you and you're going to be hunting in cold weather with thick gloves, paying attention to actual bolt throw and how high that bolt's coming up into the optic is an important thing to think about. Another feature that's important, and you know, in Minnesota, you very rarely shoot deer. Not that you don't shoot them beyond 100 yards, but I would say out of all the deer I've shot, 90% of them have been inside of 75 yards.
Right. So both of them.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, yes. So an important thing to think about, and many people overlook it, is actually how loud that safety is when you click it on and off. I bow hunt as well, and being quiet is one of the most key components when hunting.
Right.
And if you have a deer come out, you'd be amazed at just the click of a safety. They may run, turn their heads. You know, if they turn their heads and they're looking at you, you may not get your rifle up. You know what I mean? It's just one of those things to really, you know, manipulate that safety and see if you can do it quietly.
Awesome.
And I know it's something that a lot of people would overlook, but it's one of the things, you know, that I tend to look for.
Cool. We just had a, there's another video we've just put out about Vortex came and did some talking on glass. Yep. So I don't want to go too deep into this right now. You know, reference those videos on our YouTube page. But what are you looking for in glass in Minnesota?
For me, you know, the 2.5 to 10 range, or 3x9, is about perfect for Minnesota.
Okay.
And without going too in depth on what glass you should buy, but I find a lot of people overspend on the rifle and underspend on glass.
Yeah,
you know, they come in and they want to spend $700 or $800 with glass, but they're willing to spend $500 or $600 on the gun.
Yep.
Which leaves you very little to spend on glass.
Right.
You know, the rifle is only as good as the glass you put on it.
That's good.
So
to know.
It's something worth looking into.
Awesome, Jason. Thanks so much. Check out arnzenarms.com. This is our kind of new series we're going to be doing with Jason. So watch the upcoming videos for some shotgun stuff. We might talk a little bit more in depth about glass. Maybe carrying a pistol as a backup when you're hunting and things like that. So we hope you're all well, and wish you all the best. God bless.
Hunt safe.